with regard to the manufacturing process, F1 teams are almost like a microcosm for, a manufacturing company. And, how are you using automation and hyper automation and robotics in the manufacturing process today?
Well, a Formula One team is essentially it's a car manufacturer, but it's dealing with very low volumes. So we're producing 4 or 5 complete vehicles a year, but we're evolving those vehicles race to race. So the specification of the car is changing race to race, and across the season, there are many, many iterations. So although it's only 4 or 5 cars, the car that we race in Abu Dhabi at the end of the season is a very different beast from the one which we rolled out at the beginning of the season in March. So there's this constant manufacturing of components, iterations, developments, particularly around the aerodynamics of the car, so on and so forth. So the reality is that in our manufacturing operations, there's a lot of precision involved. There is a degree of repetition involved. We're constantly having to produce new parts. Speed is all important. We're in a rapid prototyping environment, so we want to produce components in, quite honestly, hours and days rather than weeks and months. So we're working in a high pressure environment in terms of how we get the components made and out into the marketplace. And by the way, of course, we're racing in a different country in the world every 2 weeks, so it's also a question of getting those components to the right, into our logistics and our supply chain, so that they're in the right place at the right time to the right specification, all of those things. So if you came with me into, let's say, my former team, Red Bull Racing, one of the things that would really strike you is the amount of automation involved, because we are using automation to rapidly speed the quality and the precision of outcomes. And so whether it's multi-axis milling machines, whether it's in our carbon composites department, how we're producing our composite components, whether it's in the testing, we use a lot of rigs for testing, and a rig can test a component many tens of thousands of times over, far better than any human could do it. So we've got a lot of automation. Robotization definitely has become a feature particularly I would say over the last decade. There was a degree of robotization around the turn of the century, but I would actually really say that what's interesting in all of our manufacturing operations, we've seen constant change due to the digital transformation that is part and parcel of our world, and it just never stands still. It's incredible when we look back at what's happened over the last 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. So if you go into a factory today, it's quite a different beast than it was not so long ago. And the degree of automation is definitely increasing, because we're taking away those, not just those, it's not about boring repetitive tasks, it's about tasks which involve absolute precision. We want perfect repeatability in terms of the output of our components and the technologies which we deploy. And what that has led to is that as we've reduced the number of people working in those kind of boring, repetitive areas where we used to, manufacture lots of little components, those people have been re-skilled and moved into other areas of the business, where once again they're using their brain power and their creativity to advance our innovation and our competitive advantage. So the automation and robotization is unquestionably a bedrock within our manufacturing. And also we're now seeing AI playing and machine learning playing a key role in the way in which the quality of outcomes is also improving in our factory operation. So a lot of people would say that all the really great technology must exist in the pit lane and in the Formula One cars at the races. I would actually argue, if you come with us into our factory and look at the degree of automation and robotization in our factories, we've got some just as equally impressive technology being deployed in our research and development and manufacturing as we have on the racetracks of the world.